And it worked very easily. You had a coin roll here, you took a piece like this, the piece itself, you put it up in the coin roll and you twisted it. And that, in the essence, was the marketing of that piece, especially to the casino. What do the casinos do when they all of a sudden, they're walking by and they're seeing somebody take a coin roll of quarters, and how do you open the quarters? You bang them up against the side of the machine. You bang them up against the tray. You put dents in the trays. You put dents in the sides of the machine. I said, your customers don't have to do this. You could sell them in the gift shop. You can give them away on bus tours. You can go around and give every patron one of these. Show them how to use it and walk up, and you're going to protect your machinery. You're going to protect your equipment. And that's really a success story on that particular business. So, did it?
Yeah, we'll get some questions out of that.
I hope so. Be sure to ask me about SCORE, because we're one of the resources in the area where we can help you. That's it.
You're next.
Thank you very much, Dave, and thank you, BLAEDC, for asking me to present at this meeting. And hopefully I'll be able to provide some good information. Now, I still have a business. I've been in business for about 16 years now. I have a company called Ideal System Solutions. We are a technology company, everything technology, and I say from the desktop all the way to the data center. We do IT consulting, IT services. We are a value-added reseller for the leading-edge technology manufacturers. And we've changed our business model quite a bit since 1996 when we started the company. And just to give you a little bit of my background, I had no intent in ever starting a business or getting into technology. In the mid-'80s, right from high school, I worked for a professional company that sold services, business services to other companies, like a secretarial service. And I was putting myself through college, and the owner got up one day and left. She just decided she was done with the business. She'd had it, and she was done. And I had just started learning some bookkeeping, accounting skills. I had the old DOS-based PC. It was my very first computer, learning word processing and that type of thing. And here I'm this, young person and trying to get through school, and I needed a job. And so I said, maybe I should just take over this business. There was clients there that needed work done. And so I said, okay, I'm just going to take over this business. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have a clue. And so I took over the business, and one of my biggest clients was a big, very large worldwide technology company. And they asked me to come and become their operations manager for a new division they were opening up. So I'm still going to school, and I want to be an attorney. That's it. I am going to be an attorney. I thought, I'm really good at arguing with people. This is my calling. I'm going to be an attorney. So going through college, enter graduate school. And at this position, there was a female sales representative. And she was a minority in this business. She was one of about 2 salespeople worldwide that was a woman out of thousands and thousands of salespeople. And she was very successful, and she became my mentor, and she looked at me one day and she said, Elise, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, well, I'm going to become an attorney. She said, go get into sales. I'm like, well, no, I want to be an attorney. What do you mean get into sales? She said, just do it. And she encouraged me to go get a sales position. So I got my first sales position with a technology company and very quickly climbed the ladder, and within probably 9 months I became sales manager for Latin America. Pretty big position at about 23 years old. And I had just sold one of the biggest contracts in the history of the company, and I was demoted. Right after they threw me a big reception, I was demoted, and they said, we've decided we can't have a woman as a sales manager in an international territory, and I was devastated. So they put me in another division, selling a product that didn't exist, and did very well there as well, and I was fired. there was no reason they didn't give me a reason for firing me, they just fired me. And I was devastated. I thought the world was crumbling. I was devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was trying to put myself through college. And so I just moved on, got another position in technology management this time, and was putting myself through graduate school now, working towards an MBA. I kind of decided that I wasn't going to become an attorney anymore, and decided to pursue that business degree. And part of the graduation program was I had to write a business plan. So I wrote a business plan. Well, I'm in technology, I know technology, I work for a company, I'm doing, let's write a business plan. So I wrote this business plan, and that was it, put it away. Had no intent of starting a company. And then one day my husband looked at me and said, let's do it. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. I don't want to start a company. I'm happy where I'm at. I don't want to do this. And he said, yeah, let's do it. You've ran the numbers. You've done your feasibility study. The information's here. This could be successful. So, okay, let's start it. So in 1997, we started Ideal System Solutions. And today we are a company of about 40 people. We've expanded our business in many different areas. We've started a staffing company. We have acquired a few businesses as well to increase our capabilities within technology in data center design and implementation, managing professional services and other areas as well. Some of the biggest challenges I've had are, number one, I was a woman in a male-dominant industry, and I see there's a few women here, so I'm hoping there's some of you that are, in the process of starting a business, and I highly encourage you to do that, whether you're male or female. But that was one of my biggest challenges. I was young, and I was female, and probably my other challenge was I was not a programmer, I wasn't a technician, but I understood business. I understood accounting, I understood finance, I understood the legalities of business. And so I did, as some of you mentioned here, is hired people that put together the right cast, the right crew, the right people on the right seats of the bus. And one of the things, the lessons that I learned from all of this is, surround yourself with people smarter than you. And that's been one of my core focuses, is because I wasn't very technical in the technology field. I had to surround myself with people that knew how to fix computers, knew how to design systems, could go in and build a data center from the ground up. I can't do that. I'm still sometimes challenged with my own computer, turning it on and making it work. So, but that's what you have to do, is to surround yourself with people that are smarter with you. The other thing is network. I learned that networking and meeting people from all different types of occupations, organizations is key. You never know who you're going to meet in that elevator or on the bus or in an airplane that might become a client, a mentor, or someone else very important in some aspect of your business. So I really encourage the networking piece of it. And reach out to as many people as you can, organizations such as BLAEDC that can become your mentor, that can help you grow your business in other ways. And that's something that early on I didn't do that. I felt, I can do this myself. And I really didn't know who to reach out to. We didn't have the internet back then and the resources that are available nowadays, where you need help from someone like SCORE or whomever, that you can Google it, and there's so many different resources out there. So I do encourage that if you're looking to start a business or grow your business, reach out to those resources, find mentors, find advisors. That's another thing that we did later on with our organization, is put together advisors, legal, financial, just other businesses that could help us with certain areas of growing our company. Other things that, lessons that I have learned, delegate. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges for me today, is I like to have my fingers in every aspect of the business, and that is not a real good idea. It's not. It's unproductive. And so it's one of those things that I still work on every day. It's a challenge for me. I just feel that I want to get it done myself. I can do this, but you're spending too much time working on the business rather in the business. And, that can certainly inhibit growth as well. And the other thing that I've learned along the way is just have fun. I mean, that's the most important thing, is I need to enjoy what I'm doing. I want the people that are on the team to enjoy what they're doing, and that we're all having fun and we're all being rewarded as we continue to build the company together as a team. It's not just me, it's the team of people. And every single person that works for Ideal is an integral part of what we do and our success. And other than that, I just encourage all of you that are looking to build a business, reach out to people on this panel, talk to each other, network, and reach out to organizations like BLAEDC that can be a tremendous wealth of resources for you. So, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming tonight. I'm sure everybody has a vision and has their own ideas of what they want to do. I have a little coffee cup that says vision is the ability to see things that others only dream of. And one of the questions I think about of getting into business and what really got me into it goes back to a vision that I had back when I was 16 years old. And I'll talk about that a little bit later here. As Dave mentioned, my name is Tom Hagelin, a local grown boy here. I had an opportunity to go to college out in the cities and then an opportunity to come back. My wife and I own Lindart Corporation. We're in the Baxter Industrial Park. We're a plastics thermoforming company. We do a lot in the food and medical packaging, so we buy muffin containers, something like that, a lot of high volume, as well as we do a lot of what we call engineered component products for the egg industry and a number of other types of engineered, high-end engineered kind of components. We're over in the Baxter Industrial Park. We have about 95 to 100 team members. I like to say no one works for us. We all work together. And we have a great team. We're busy and we are trying to grow and keep up with demand today. I also just want to mention too that we've recently acquired this spring another local company called Lakeland Mold Company in the Brainerd Industrial Park. And there we have about 85 employees and awesome people, great reputation. And that company is a large rotational tool builder. So again, engineered kind of molds for the rotational mold industry. The largest rotational mold tool builder in North America, right here in Brainerd, Minnesota. So we're blessed to have both these companies here. Again, just briefly on kind of why did I get into business and what motivated me. I grew up on a family farm. My parents were teachers. And to put ourselves through college, we raised sweet corn. We had about 25 acres of sweet corn, and we had a roadside stand, and we sold to local grocery stores. We picked all of this sweet corn by hand, a wheelbarrow, and bent over picking it all by hand. So it was a lot of physical hard work. When I was 16, I met with the Twin Ports, which is part of the Super Value distribution based out of Duluth, and I met with them here at the local Super One, which is now the part of the school district building. I think what building that was. And I met with them to see if we could sell sweet corn to their other stores rather than just the local Brainerd Super One store. Met with them a couple of different times, and they finally told me, for such a young kid that wanted to come and try to sell more, yeah, we'll add, at that time, 11 more stores. And I remember going home and telling my dad that they wanted to pick up a semi-load of sweet corn. It was grueling hard work, but we did pull my siblings together and we made it come together. So I always had an idea and a vision of saying, I think we can do a whole lot more than what we're doing right here. And we really kind of took off with that. The other thing is that early on and after college, as I mentioned, I had an opportunity to come back here and worked for the Ackerman companies. I worked for them for about 10 years, based on Minneapolis, but had 3 or 4 operations here. And it's really there that I was had the opportunity to work in a lot of the different departments. First started out in sales, got involved in finance, got involved with the operations side of it, worked in the various different facilities that they had. So it really was a great training program for me, much better than going to college and the classes that I took there. The training was just awesome and provided that opportunity. During that stint, we were looking for some companies that they wanted to expand, and so my supervisor and I at the time were looking at different companies. And I came across this little company that was located up north. Eventually, my wife and I purchased that before we had children back in 1993. We moved it down here, and then we've added on and went from there. I want to touch just briefly a little bit on the lessons, because I think that's a key thing, and actually I'm more interested in hearing the questions and some dialogue, so I'm going to try to speed this up here. But some of the lessons I learned, and it's already been touched on here a little bit: hire the best people you can. About 2 years ago, our middle son, who is now 14, so 12 at the time, at the dinner table said, "Dad, what is it that you really do? What do you do when you go to work every day?" And I proceeded to try to tell him, and I just kept like struggling with that. He finally said, "That's fine, Dad, I'm not really sure what you do, but okay, continue with whatever you're doing." And what I realized is that over the years, and it takes time, but over the years, developing that team. So at Lindar, we have an awesome team of managers and supervisors and leads, and everyone that is there doing their thing. And it's so key in order to do that. Delegating. I like to think I'm an expert at it. I have no problem with letting someone else run with things. In fact, today and perhaps over the last couple of years, it's got to the point now where the management team really doesn't know whether I'm in the office or not, and I feel comfortable with that because I've surrounded myself with such great key people, and that's vitally important if you're going to grow. You absolutely need to surround yourself with good key people, and you need to be able to trust and empower the others to help with that. Again, it's been mentioned here already, surround yourself with good people. As I look around the room, there's at least a dozen people in here that I've talked to, and I've picked and asked you guys questions. You're my partners, you're my mentors. In fact, I'm not even sure why I'm up here. I said, Sheila, I know there's a whole lot of other professional, experienced people than myself. I'm happy to be here, but I look at, these are my partners in the room here, many of you, because I consult with you and I trust in that relationship. And I think that's so key that you do that, whether you're a one-person show or continue to grow with that. Focus. I had a real difficult time early on. We've been in business for about 19 years. I say early on, it just occurred to me about a year ago. So the first 15 years, people would ask us, and our sales team and our reps that we work with, well, what do you do? Well, we're into thermoform. What's your market? Well, anything that we can thermoform. Anything in that process, that's our market. And it took me a long time to really say, no, we got to focus. That's why we focus now on food packaging. Within food packaging, we're really big into the bakery, deli, produce side of food packaging. So we really hone in on that. We look at our OEM and our engineered side of it. Well, what parts do we do there? We're really big into the lawn garden. We're really big into the egg side of the business. We're getting bigger into the medical side. So we focus on certain areas. And I think that's key. Again, whether it's service or provide product, that you focus. You find out what you're good at, and you focus with that rather than saying, well, we can do everything. Because you can't. You can only do so much. And I think, to focus again with that. Another, and again, it was touched on the financial side, and we have our financial bean counter over here. Who keeps us in line, but I gotta tell you, I think it's vitally important that you know the financials. You need to have your tax and your accounting firms that have to be an integral part, but you also need to know. You need to know where the pennies and nickels are going. You have to understand to know your expenditures. You need to know what your expenses are. You've got to know what cash flows are. You've got to know how to read a balance sheet and what those numbers are telling you, what those ratios are telling you. I think it's vitally, vitally important, or if it's going to suffer later on. You have to be passionate about that. And this is my belief, that on the financial side, you really got to know the business. I love to be challenged from Jim on, well, where do these numbers come from? And hopefully we can always respond with the right kind of answers because we know our business. So I believe, though you need to focus or develop your team, you also really need to know the financial side of the business. Never stop learning. Each and every day I keep on thinking about the things that I learned, and I've gotten involved with different organizations. Yesterday I left the hospital board with Mr. Kraft over here in a 3.5-hour or 3-hour hospital board meeting, went into a 4-hour school board meeting, and each time I keep thinking I can pick up things, the little things, because whether we're in service or manufacturing or medical, health, school, quality is always out there. Delivery, on time, staff, developing a staff, all those issues and things exist throughout any organization. So I think continuing to learn and be humble about how can I do this better is very, very critical in continuing the path upward. And the last thing I'll just touch on real quick was one of the questions that we were asked is, what are some of the rewards? And I think for me, it's really been the opportunity to meet people, to really get involved, meet people, travel to different. I love going to whether it's our customers, our suppliers. I love to get out and see other companies, other businesses, see how things are done, which is a real, again, it's just a really a neat opportunity. I think the financial side, and Dave mentioned early on, if you're going to do this just for the dollars and because you can set your own hours and live the easy life, that's not going to happen on the front end. But hopefully that does. Hopefully through success it allows you to do some more things, and maybe part of those additional things is getting involved in the community as well, because you can do that. So love to hear from all of you later on. Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, I want to thank all four of you for getting us started. We have some work to do here yet, and that is to get the details that somebody's got in the back of their mind and they're wondering where they didn't cover this. So we're going to open up the questions. Whether you own a business, whether you're starting a business, whether you're a banker and wondering what the heck businesses are really doing, we'd like to hear those questions. So who would like to start us off with questions from the floor? Because if you don't, I'm going to ask. Boy, that's not good.
Just my perception is that your workforce just has a really high morale. So just, can you give us any specifics about how you built that for your team that just happened to be there? It's just such a neat culture, positive culture. Do you have any?
It's a false impression you
Okay.
have.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. No, I think I'm right, but so any specific, I know there's 100 different things over 19 years, but any specific for younger businesses that, is it how you treat your...
Well, I think one of the important things is doing is and demonstrating your willingness to participate. Give you an example of an email that I had sent on Friday night to our production lead at that time. It's about 7 o'clock at night. If this particular line is not able to run on our third shift due to shortage, please let me know and I will be there with some help. I think you have to have that desire and willingness to do anything and everything within that organization. Back in the day, I don't have a forklift driver's license anymore, but I was able to do those various things. I'm not out on the floor. I'm not involved with much of that side of the operation work. But I think really getting involved with it is very critical. And I do remember one of our sales managers who I introduced him to someone. This was a number of years ago, and I introduced him. This is Rob. Rob and I worked together. The next day he came up and he said, I just appreciate that you didn't say, Rob, he works for me, and we work together. We all have a role, we all have a job. I have my things I gotta do, and everyone else has their thing.
Tom, I would guess that's what gives you the credibility, whether you be inside the shop or outside, just how you treat people. I think in our business, we always just talk about being fair and firm, and there's things you gotta do, you gotta be fair to people.
Right.
Other questions?
I have a question. My name's Tony Chesak, and my husband and I own Mickey's Pizza and Subs in Brainerd. It's a small family business, and we've been around 30 years, and we bought the business from my dad about 8 years ago. And, you know, I see my accountant once a year, and I give him the numbers, I make sure my balance sheet ends up with, you know, what it started the year before. And I use QuickBooks, I run a profit and loss, but I've gotten to the point, we had about 18 months ago, we had 4 national direct competitors open up within a 2-mile radius of our business. And so things took a dive for a while, and I've developed a spreadsheet where I do weekly projections based on sales. And I guess my question is, what should I expect out of a financial advisor, an accountant in our business? You know, besides seeing them once a year, you know, what should I expect out of my accountant, or look for? Do I look for quarterly guidance from him, or, you know, what are you speaking of when you say have a good financial advisor in place?
No, my organization, we have a CFO that's outsourced, so not an internal employee, but every single month we meet when the books are closed and go through, you know, every organization might look at things differently depending upon your business and, you know, what, you know, for us it's certain ratios and service hours and things like that. So we sit down for about 2 hours every month and go through the different measurements that we need to look at to make sure our business is on track. And we ask him to go through the financials and let us know if there's things that seem out of the ordinary or, you know, red flags to him. But it's every month, and then we do the projections as well. And if we're off in any place, we need to sit down with the management team and discuss it right then and there and get on top of it, as opposed to wait until the end of the year and it's like, what happened?
Elise, can I ask, how did you find this? How did you find this person that you trust? Did it take a while, or were you able to find them quickly?
Well, I have an accounting firm that I use out of Minneapolis, a pretty large accounting firm, and I asked them to help me find a part-time CFO, so it was through recommendations.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a brief answer from each of you if you want. I know you all want to add something, so important piece.
But I just want to make a quick comment. What I heard is 4 national accounts that came in, business took a dive or decreased. Sorry, Jim. The accountants aren't going to help you on how to get that market back up, in my mind. I look at it more as a marketing, that might be the folks that you want to gravitate to. What do I do from a marketing standpoint? Just a local company, been around for 30 years, close to the high school. How do we connect and really grow that business back up from a local perspective versus what the numbers and what they can do?
Yeah, I totally agree with Tom on this. As I see it, there's 2 questions here, and I'll answer the first one this way when you said about finding an accountant. I think finding a good accountant or somebody that you may be a little dissatisfied with is just like anything else. We talk about finding the best people for your employees. I think a young business has to find the best people outside the business, the best suppliers, the best attorney, the best plumbers, the best people to fix the garage doors that are outside of the business. So I'd say if there's unhappiness, treat it like finding a plumber or finding a good attorney or finding any. You've got to apply the same thought there. And if you're not happy, go somewhere where you are happy and you are getting what you want. I found in business, it took me a long time to get to this point, but I don't want to do business with anybody anymore that I'm not engaged with.